Hello there, Laura here. Today I am doing the, hang on, let me make sure I get the name right, the Project Pan Questionnaire, which is a tag that was originally made by Meg's Makeup 8. So Megan made this up way back in August of 2014. So I got tagged to do this tag by Kailee Wesley, and she did it last week, I think, and so I am doing the tag. So I had a little search around to find out who'd originally made the tag, and so I'm going and I watched Megan's video to make sure I was getting the right vibe of what she wanted out of the tag. And sorry, that's my daughter. She doesn't know how to close doors quietly. So, what was I saying? And I will link Kaylee's video and I will link Megan's video down below in the description box so that you can go and see the original and go and see Kaylee's one. And let's get on with the questions. So, it's a Project Pan Questionnaire questions. That's what it says here. It's a Project Pan Questionnaire tag, basically. So number one was, why did you start project panning? I'd been watching a few videos with project panning and things, and my curiosity was there and wondering, oh, I wonder if I could use up products and things. But then when I sorted through my eyeshadow palettes, there was one in particular that I thought, I haven't used that much, but I don't know that I really like it. It was a face eyeshadow palette. So it had a blush and a bronzer and a highlighter, and it had 4 eyeshadows in it. And I hadn't really used it much, and I didn't think much of the bronzer, and I didn't like the highlighter. The blush was okay, and it had a pale pink and then a cream eyeshadow, a dark brown eyeshadow, and a mid-brown eyeshadow. So it wasn't particularly exciting, and I was going to declutter it, and I thought, I wonder if I just give it a go and try and use it a bit more, if I like it or not. So I decided to put it in a project pan and just to see what I thought about it. And I ended up actually really enjoying it and really liking it. The only shadow I didn't use all up was the dark brown, but I had no intention of using all the dark brown anyway because it's dark brown and I've got 1,000,001 dark browns, so I don't need to use up every dark brown I own because I would never do that because I have too many. But it had quite a icy kind of highlighter in there, and I learned how to use that on my face and make it work, which meant that any other icy highlighter I had, I now know how to make work, and I came up with lots of different looks and things to use with that palette and using my other products with it and things. So that was my very first go at project panning, and that was last year. And I did film that, so you'll be able to... I didn't film it when I very first started because I hadn't started filming YouTube videos when I very first started, but I was a few weeks into it before I decided to do makeup videos. But yeah, I did. You'll be able to watch most of my progress if you were interested. And yeah, so that's why I started, because I wanted to see if I could do it. And then I decided to carry on. Number 2, what is the most rewarding part of project panning? To me, the most rewarding part is actually to see the empty pans. Because I love to see that I'm using my makeup and enjoying it, and it's not just sitting on the shelf doing nothing. And there's this weird fascination with getting down to pan and using it all up and going, look, I've finished it. I don't know why, but there it is. Number 3, what is the most challenging part of project panning? The most challenging part would be using things that you're not sure that you really like that much, but they say, oh, you should project pan the stuff that you love, which I do. I don't pan stuff that I like, but in an eyeshadow palette, there's always some colours that you're not really going to use that much. Like the darker colours, I'm not into lots of dark colours. So you sort of look at it and you go, well, how can I use some of this, even if I'm not using it all up? So yeah, trying to concentrate on just using those things and figuring out how to incorporate the rest of your collection but still get progress on your project pan stuff, I think is quite challenging, because if you start using other stuff, then you're not using the project pan stuff, and then you don't make any progress. Number 4, how many project pans have you done, and do you plan on doing more? Now, I started last year, so I did one project pan last year, which was like 10 products, and one of them was that palette I was talking about. And I just rolled things in and out as I finished them. So if I finished something, then I'd roll something else back in. And then this year, I decided I was going to do a project pan again. And I'm doing the team project pan from Kat and Kailee's channel, which has gone out of my head what it's called. I'll write it on the screen. So they made up the hashtag Team Project Pan, and it's a year-long pan, and seasonally you can change stuff out in and out to suit the seasons, and you can choose whatever products you want to put in there, but the idea is that you do a full face and you can include skincare and stuff and everything. And so I thought that would be an interesting one to do, because it was actually an organised one, and other people would be doing it, and I'd be able to join in and see what other people are doing and things. So instead of just doing one on my own, I decided to do that. And do I plan on doing more? Hang on. I'm also doing a project polish, which I got the idea from Skater Crew, from Jolie, and I've been watching, she does a lot of panning videos, and I decided I wanted to try a project polish, because I've got a million nail polishes that I hardly ever use, and that's extremely slow project, and I don't know whether when I finish that one I'll carry on, but I do want to carry on with the makeup ones, because there are certain categories in my makeup that I don't need a huge collection of, that I don't want seeing going to waste, like foundations and things. I just want to make sure that I am using them. But there are other parts of my collection that I don't mind if it's big, like my eyeshadow, and I'm never going to use all of those up. And I have no intention of using all of those up, because it would be impossible. So, I have already decided what palette I want to pan when I've finished what I'm doing now, even though I'm not going to be finished all year. So I think I will want to carry on doing some kind of project pan. I don't want to do too many though. I find if there's too many, then I can't do it. Number 5, are you also doing any other projects in addition to project pan? Okay, so I'm doing the project polish, so I answered that. I'm doing the team project pan, but I also do things like shop my stash, which is just picking products for the month that I would like to use for that month, and I'm not trying to pan those, I just want to get some use out of them. And I also do, it's probably more fortnightly, sometimes weekly, depends on what's going on during the week and how much I've used the product, do a product roulette, where I just randomly with a roulette wheel pick a product to use for the week or 2 weeks, depending. And I just want to make sure that I'm regularly using stuff in my collection. And for me, that's enough. Between my project pan, project polish, product roulette, and shop my stash, I can't actually keep up with all of those very easily anyway. And because I'm also doing a pan that palette partner, which means that when I do, for the palette that I'm panning, I choose different palettes from my collection to partner with that palette so I don't get bored with it and things. So that's between all of those, that's more than enough. And sometimes I don't get all my Shop My Stash stuff used in a month because I'm too busy using other things. So yeah. Number 6, do you limit your spending or go on a no-buy way on Project Pan? I think this question would be more applicable to people who are trying to reduce the amount of stuff they've got in their collection and they don't want to buy anymore, or they want to save money or whatever. That's not the case with me. I want to use what I have. I don't necessarily not want to buy anything else though. So I'm quite happy to just carry on buying things, but I wanted to be really aware of what was in my collection and what needed using up and what I didn't mind using up. So it was for me, it was a way of becoming more aware of it. And so I know that I'm not going to buy any more face pressed powders until I've used up what I've got, because I don't use them that much and they take forever to get through. I know I'm not going to buy any more foundations until I get down to less than what I've got now, because I don't need to and I want to use those up before they go bad or anything. But eyeshadow palettes, I'm not interested in not buying those. that wasn't a very good sentence. I'm not interested in going on a low buy for those. I don't buy every single palette that comes out, but I really enjoy the eyeshadow. It's the best part of makeup to me, and I love the colours and I love playing with them and I love experimenting and things. So no, I don't go on a low buy or a no buy. When I'm panning, I just want to be really aware of what I'm using and how long it takes me to use it. So when I go to buy a new blush, I can say, okay, I have got this shade. Do I really need it? It's going to take me however long to use it up. But if I still want to buy it, then I would. Number 7, who are your favourite project panners to watch? I watch quite a few of them, but the 2 that I started watching before I even started project panning was Amanda D and Jessica, which I've momentarily forgotten her second name. Hang on. So the 2 that I started watching regularly before I even started panning was Amanda D and Jessica Lee. And they are good friends and they do a lot of projects together and things. And so you'd watch one video and then you go and watch the next video, and the way they go through stuff is completely amazing to me, and the way how much eyeshadow they use and things, it's just like, wow. And so their commitment to panning and how much they use and how creative they are with it really inspired me to try project panning. So those would be my 2 favourite ones. But I watch lots of other people, Kailee included, but I do really enjoy those 2. I really do enjoy those 2, and they are the ones that inspired me to start panning. So number 8, what is your number 1 tip for a successful project pan? Well, for me, I've got to have the stuff out ready to use, because if I don't, I forget what I've got in my project pan, and so I don't use them. So what I have done is, like, because I'm doing a full face, I've got a full face of stuff that I use for my project pan. I've got it right next to me where I get ready in the morning, and which happens to be where I film as well, because that's where all my makeup lives. And so it's the first thing that I'm reaching for when I'm getting ready in the morning. And if I want anything else, then I go into my drawers to find other things. But the project pan stuff is right there, along with the Shop My Stash stuff. And that's the only way I can remember to use them, because otherwise I forget which products are in there, and I also forget to use them. So, yeah. So my number 1 tip would be to have the products readily available. And if you've got a full face of stuff right there, then if you're in a hurry in the morning and you've been panning those particular things for a while, you know exactly how to apply them, you know how they work, and you can quickly do your makeup in the morning when you need to, and then at other times you can just play and have some fun. And just because those are in your project doesn't mean those are the only things you can use, because I don't want all my other makeup to never get used while I'm panning. I want to actually use all of my makeup, which is why I do the product roulette and why I do shop my stash, because I want to make sure I'm using other things. And that's why I do pan my palette partner, because then I can be rotating through my different eyeshadow palettes, which I love and I want to use and get to know them and create lots of exciting different looks. But I also want to use my pan palette, so I use them together. So I come up with ways to keep it interesting and exciting, but make it easy for yourself as well, so that whatever system works for you for getting ready in the morning, to make it easy and accessible and have those products right where you need them. That would be my tip. Number 9, what is your goal for your makeup collection through project panning? I'm not trying to make my collection smaller, although some areas I don't need as much as I've got, so I'm just making sure that I use them up, but I'm also quite happy to go and buy something else. But things like, you know, my setting sprays and my powders and foundations and what else? And my bronzers and contours and that. I don't feel the need to have tons of them. I just need what I want, really. So like with foundation, I'd like a natural foundation and a full coverage foundation, and maybe something that's more dewy or like a tinted moisturiser or something, but that's all I really need. I don't need 20 foundations or anything. Not that I have 20 foundations, but I don't need lots of foundations. So I want to make sure that I'm using what I've brought. But when it comes to eyeshadows and highlighters and lipsticks and probably blush, I'm not worried that I've got lots. I'm quite happy to have lots. I want to be aware though of what I've got. I want to not be buying double ups. Like if I buy a lipstick, I want to know that's a unique colour or a unique formula from everything else that I have, so I don't have a whole lot the same. So that would be my aim, is to not have a whole lot of double ups. And as for eyeshadow, you're always going to get some double ups if you're buying palettes, because that's inevitable. But I only want to buy the ones that excite me, or the colour stories really speak to me and make me want to experiment and try different things out. And I want to find what ones work and what ones don't. And yeah, so what was the question again? Oh, what was my goal? I'm rambling on so much, I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so it's not making my collection smaller or bigger, it's just being aware of what I've got, so that when I do purchase, I purchase wisely or with consideration to what else I already own. And the last question is, who would you tag to do this questionnaire? And because this question has been around a long time, there's probably a lot of people who have already done it. And so I'm going to say, if you're watching this and you do panning videos, then I tag you to do this questionnaire if you haven't already. And let me know if you do it, because then I'll come and watch. And that are all the questions for this tag video. Thanks, Kailee, for tagging me, and I will see you next time. Bye.